Eagles lose their worst game of the season on all levels. 33-16. 1,500 missed tackles. Non-existent offense. A circus show on special teams. I'm Wesley, and you're watching Beast on Broad Street.
Yeah, reporting live from the underworld, coming from a place that's never been unearthed. How much is your soul? Tell me what it's worth. Do you put your pride on money first?
So, I'm trying not. I really don't even got like the energy for it at this point, because it's just the same conversation every week, win or lose. It's the same conversation. Nothing's changed. We're a 500 team, playing like a 500 team, just inconsistent on all levels. Yes, A.J. Brown did not play. Yes, Devontae Smith did not play. And yes, Lane Johnson did not play. It showed. At the same time, that is not why we got beat the way we got beat. I can see a close game and coming up short because a lack of weapons. I can understand that. I can understand just about anything except for being that bad on all levels of the game. You knew immediately, 14-0, we're getting the ball back and we get a punt, and it's like we just got off the field. God, thank you. We got off the field. But then we don't, because was it McCollum? Who was it, man? I don't even know, man. I think it was Ringo or McCollum no, it was Isaiah Rodgers. Gets called for pushing a defender. Not called, but what would have been fair catch interference is taken back because evidently Isaiah Rodgers pushed the defender into Cooper DeJean. Just disgusting. Disgusting special teams. You got Kelee Ringo literally just running into Cooper DeJean. It's just like, man, every week it's like something new. Every week it's something different. I don't even know where to begin with this team, man. Clearly they don't know who they are. We don't know who they are. I figured by this point there would be some level of consistency, but there just isn't. And what can you say? There's no defending anyone on this team. Well, except for Saquon Barkley. At least one person comes in BG for whatever that's worth. But Saquon Barkley is the only constant on this team right now. And it's a headache. It's fucking annoying. And you try it, like, I don't got it in me, really. It's like, what am I gonna blow up? It's the same thing. We're just sitting in the same position. We've been stagnant since week 12 last season. We've just been we've been stagnant since last season. Who am I kidding? Even when we were 10-1, it still felt like this weird stagnant feeling. Yet we're winning. And yeah, it feels like the same as last year. As far as like we always shoot ourselves in the foot. I guess perspective. I was wrong about this defense. I was hoping, I guess more so, that they found something last. How do you come back from last week to this week? Like, how do you look like that? They're still missing tackles. The game's over. They're still missing tackles, fam. I don't know. Like, I don't even know where to, like. Oh my God, bro! Like, Nakobe Dean, trash game by Nakobe Dean. Who else had a trash game? Just about everyone on the defense, not named BG. Quinyon Mitchell got cooked a couple times, but like at the same time, what are you gonna do, man? He still looks good. He still makes a play. He makes a play every game where you're like, well, at least he's good. That's kind of where it ends. Everything else is just inconsistent. Bryce Huff got to the quarterback and it was all in vain. Not only did Baker Mayfield escape when he did get to the quarterback, but it was like a defensive holding or something. Anyway, so it didn't mean anything. And what's crazy is that was a 3rd and 14. And you're like, we just need to get off the field. This is post turnover, and I'll get to that in a minute. Teams, before I get there, it's 3rd and 14, right? We need to get off the field. It feels like every 3rd and long, and we need to get off the field. And you're just like, we got to get off the field here. And then what happens? Someone, intermediate route across the middle, just open because the quarterback has however long to wait, for someone to come open across the middle. It's every game we see that. And Vic Fangio, he needs to adjust sooner. But like at the same time, it's like they got to make tackles. A lot of just missed plays on the defensive end. So it's like, yeah, like what are you gonna do? Like Vic Fangio, it's like, what are you gonna do, man? He is who he is. I can't he needs to be better when it comes to making adjustments sooner. But hey, at least he's making adjustments. Oh man, I don't know, man. The scheme didn't work this game, clearly. So it's like that's why I mean, it's like you got to make that adjustment earlier. You could tell by the first 2 drives that with Baker Mayfield, it's like clearly their game plan is working clearly, and you need to adjust. I don't just do it quickly. you don't wait till something happens. We're down 21-0. And to the defense's credit, for whatever it's worth, again, they did kind of, got, I don't know, they tightened up a little bit at the end of the game, but it was 4-0. We got a chance coming out of the half to make this a 1-possession game. Everything changes. We get down to the red zone. And Jalen Hurts. So let's get to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, he needs to have better pocket awareness, pocket presence. The O-line had an awful game, just all around. The O-line was just awful, bad. Everyone, Jordan Mailata, for the most part, just everyone, it was falling apart. That's not the excuse. And it's just like, you got to have better pocket presence, first and foremost. And it's just, you got to go through the reads faster. It's taking forever, man. You're taking way too long to go through these reads. And I get it. I get that you're used to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. One of them's going to be open. Your first or second read is always open, right? But you can't take that long to get to your third read. You got to take that check way faster. You're getting flushed out of the pocket, and it's like, it shouldn't be that every down on offense. And it's like, you're like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna force it? Is he gonna be conservative? You're just kind of clinching. Oh man, it is just, it's gonna be a long 2 weeks again. And it's just like, we're a 500 team. That's kind of where it is. That's where we are right now, wondering. That's what a 500 team is, right? You're wondering, are we trash? Are we good? Are we above average? Are we below average? We don't know who this team is, man. And it's going to be hard for them to just be trash with all the talent on the team. But I'll tell you what can be trash, and that's the coaching staff. Sirianni is once again, he's been on the hot seat, but it's just like, you got to do something, guy. You got 2 weeks. You got to do something, guy. Right? How are you going to get how did this team come out in Tampa Bay that flat? They look clueless, man. They had that game plan, they didn't even look like I don't get it, man. There's no consistency whatsoever with this team on a week-to-week basis. It's just like every week you're like, all right, who's gonna be the problem this week? instead of who's going to take over. It's like, who's going to hurt us the most? I don't know, man. Yeah. So, like, this game is just a mixture of everything. This game, that's why it's our worst game that we've played this season. Just a mixture of everything. Trash, defense. No one can the tackling, man. It was just the tackling itself. That's kind of my first blame. Is the tackling. You're an NFL football team, man. An NFL defense. Avonte Maddox is just diving at guys. It's like, bro, what are we doing, man? How you diving at Chris Godwin? You're dabbing on. It's like, bro, can you look up at least? Can you at least? What are we doing, man? It's killing me, and it's laughable. That was like a laughable attempt at a tackle. You should be getting flamed in the film room. Flamed. By your coaches, by teammates. You'd be getting flamed. Diving like that at Chris Godwin. Bro, wrap him up, man. Wrap him up. One thing I notice about this team as far as the tackling goes, why is it that it seems like every time a motherfucker gets the ball, and it could be like a dump off, it could just be a check, a 1-2 yard check down. It just feels like every time a defender is overcommitting or just taking the worst angle of pursuit ever to the football. It's always the guy you need to make that tackle. You need that check down to be a check down. Not a check down for 6 yards. It's like every play I'm watching someone just taking the worst. I don't know what it is. You just don't want to I don't know. I'm trying to get into the head of like why you're not going directly through the guy with the ball. Directly to his hips. Wrap up. Head up. Wrap up. I remember last year. Is it Slay? I can't. Who was it? It was like arguing with Laura Brunson. And shout out to Laura Brunson because he's not wrong. It's like, but it's like, who was it last season, man? We got guys coming out like they're mad because he called them out. Said they were scared to tackle. Because you look scared to tackle, man. A lot of these guys do. And if you're not, like, you got to prove otherwise. That was an embarrassment from a tackling standpoint. Just all around, really. But from just a tackling standpoint, that's fucking embarrassing, man. I've never seen an Eagles team like this to this extent. No physicality on defense when it comes to just tackling. Jesus Christ. Wrap up, man. Why are we diving like that? It's just like, it's silly sometimes. It's like, and then when they try to wrap up, it's like they've already taken the worst angle of pursuit possible. This is going to be a long 2 weeks, man. It's another 2 weeks. It's going to be another week and now 2 weeks of just worrying, wondering about who this team is. Oh, Lord. People want Nick Sirianni fired mid-season, and I don't blame you. I'm not going to sit here and blame you. But let's be real, man. It's not going to happen. And if it does, I'd be surprised. As much as, yeah, I'd love a change right now, too. I'd love to, like, just hit that, like, I love to hit the red button, man. They're not going to, man. They're going to see this through all the way to the end of the season. Unfortunately. But that's just that based off the decisions that this organization has already made with keeping Nick around for this season. They're not gonna turn around on that. But I understand wanting him gone like now. I wanted him gone after last season, like, you know, a lot of us did. But yeah, I mean, offensively, it's like you got Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, and yeah, you got Dallas Goedert. And there should have been there should have been more of a game plan. Like, it just seemed like there wasn't a game plan. They came out just looking completely unprepared on all levels, and that you got to blame the coaches on that. Now everyone's got to take accountability. Jalen Hurts, man, it's getting frustrating. You got to go through the reads faster. Especially a game like this when your offensive line isn't performing well either. No one's performing well. Like, you got to go through those reads and make a decision. You're in the red zone, man. You can't fumble the ball there. You got to know guys are going to pursue you after you step up. They're still going to be pursuing you. It happens too much. I feel like most of his fumbles are from that. He'll step up, and whoever the lineman or linebacker is, who he steps up from, he comes back around, either chases him down and forces a fumble, or just after he climbs back up in the pocket, the dude's still pursuing you and he ends up knocking it out, which is what happened today with Lavonte David. It's like, Saquon picked up the blitz, but he's not gonna stonewall Lavonte David like that. And just like, you're gonna have all this time after you step up. Either you step up and immediately deliver the ball, or just take the sack. And in this case, you probably should have just took the sack, or at least try to buy yourself more time while protecting the football, though. It's like, I don't know, man. They look bad. Yeah, man. I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now. We're gonna have 2 weeks to evaluate this team. It's getting exhausting. I mean, just to like beat the dead horse that is like, it's like we could talk about anything. It's like there's so many facets of this game that we need to be better at. Turnovers, tackling, pass rush, and guys just need to get healthy, which is whatever, it's gonna happen. You got the bye week, so guys should get healthy, and they need to come back. I don't know, like, they need to come back a lot stronger. It just also felt like without AJ and Devontae and Lane Johnson, there was a lack of leadership on the field. That's what it seemed like, offensively at least. There was just like, it just looked flat, stagnant, and I mean, you could pin that on whoever, but it's like you're missing that many leaders on your offense. It's like, I'm not surprised, I guess, that it was like that, just flat of an offense. I originally earlier in the week, I thought we were going to be getting AJ back, or potentially getting AJ back, at least Lane Johnson, or but when I woke up, you just know you're not getting any of those guys back this week. It's just like, you knew you were in for a long game, at least from an offensive standpoint. But what I did not predict was 21 unanswered in the first quarter. It's awful. It's awful. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna do? I will say this. I'm gonna be, instead of just the negatives are obvious. You're gonna be negative. It's obvious. Like, everything all the same stuff. It's obvious, man. What I need to do these next 2 weeks is I gotta try to find where there is hope. As a fan, just from a fan perspective, it's like, because I'm just not the guy to be like, just abandon shit. Like, I always feel that there's hope, and like, I don't know, maybe that just comes from like coaching myself, and it's just that's how I am. I've always been when it came to sports. It's like, no matter how bad shit gets, it's like, there's always light to be found, right? And once you find it, then it's up to you to, where you take it. It's up to you where you go with that light, what to shine it on, how bright it's gonna shine. And right now, I don't even want to keep going with that metaphor because I'm annoying myself, but yeah, I gotta. This next 2 weeks is just gonna be about just finding like what is it, man? What is it? What do you need? What do you need for to click? Aside from the obvious, like the coaching is just like clearly abysmal. There's no leadership as far as coaching goes. It feels like there's just a lot of there's just a lot of question marks still. All the question marks in the offseason are still question marks, aside from the pass rush because it's just bad. I don't know, man. What are you gonna do? Hopefully, what I would hope, what I would like to see is how we make a move while we have all this time, to make a move for maybe an edge rusher, and just anything really, anything. I mean, hopefully like someone who's gonna make some type of impact or try to make an impact. But yeah, we can't keep rolling out that same 4-man rush. I don't know why we keep doing that. I get it. I get how good the defense looked last week, but it's like you gotta send blitzes a little earlier in the game, man. You can't just go like do bend don't break, and then when you're down 14, then now it's time to. It's like I could have told you that first drive that they're just gonna take the checks or they're just gonna take those quick routes, either the drag across the middle or just an intermediate, just an in. It's just like they're just doing the same. It was just obvious. And credit to Baker Mayfield, because Baker Mayfield was making throws earlier in the game. Like early in the game, he was making good throws. There was some throws. It's like it's a tough window to fit it. It's not like that one on Slay. Was it Sterling Shepard? I forgot who it was. It's like Slay was there. I mean, I can't be mad at Slay on that particular play. It's like it's a great throw. It is what it is. Yeah, I'd like to see a play made. It also feels like the last 4 games have just been like every time the other team either fumbles, a ball gets tipped in the air, we don't make those plays. Like a lot of the time, these other teams are catching breaks because like they just fall on their own fumble, and like they're not. That's another reason why we're losing the turnover. Aside from obviously turning the ball over ourselves, we need to force more turnovers. And this again, I know Reed Blankenship. I get it. He's had those 2 big picks, but we need to force more turnovers where it's just like earlier in the game. We can't keep losing this turnover battle. Obviously, it's going to be a main talking point for the next, it has been already. We can't keep losing these turnovers. It's atrocious. It was one turnover to none this game. And unfortunately, that one turnover was a massive back-breaking turnover. And that's on Hurts. It's on Hurts. I don't know, man. But what do you like for everyone who's just gonna sit here and just be like, oh well, Hurts isn't there? It's like, who else, man? And on top of that, it's like, I'm not out on Hurts by any means. Like, yeah, it sucks right now. He's not been playing good consistently, I should say. And when he's not playing good, it's really bad. So, or it's just bad at the worst times, I should say. Like every time he's been bad, it comes at a crucial moment where you're just like, God, just a complete momentum killer. Is whenever he does turn the ball over, it's always like just a complete momentum killer, like it was today. What do you want, man? That's kind of where I'm at. I'm trying to evaluate more about this team throughout the week. As brutal as it is, and how obvious our problems are, it's just like you gotta get it right, man. It's getting embarrassing. I mean, it just is embarrassing, but it's just every week it just becomes more embarrassing because how at this point, how has nothing changed? It is god awful, man. The loss of Shane Steichen has been, yeah, like haunting. I didn't realize Shane Steichen was that. I'm saying from like before he left, like I didn't realize Shane Steichen was that big of an impact on how this team I didn't know it was like that bad. Like that this type of contrast is crazy. Man, do we miss Steichen, because everything just looks discombobulated everywhere. Why does it look like, it is me? That's off topic. I've been looking at this the whole video. It looks like half of my mustache is gone. And yeah, I got orange facial hair, but it is what it is. I'm saying it this whole time, like, why am I missing hair here? Tripping. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where we're at. Luckily we got the bye. Guys will get healthy. We gotta try. I don't know, man. Do we need the Trey Turner standing O? What do we need to do, man, to help this team? Because it is bad news out here. Oh, it's bad. Fuck. Go Birds.